Alright guys, just wanted to go over a little tiny soft wash and pressure washing setup that I put together for under $2,000. So that's basically what this is about. We decided, I used to have a landscape lawn care business, and we decided to, after an injury that I sustained a while back, we let the lawn care business go, and I've decided to go with just doing the pressure washing now. So I wanted to go over my setup that I've put together. It may help somebody else, you know, wanting to get into the industry or into pressure washing and soft wash, put something together that's you know, under $2,000. As you see, most of the skids and nice setups, you know, can run $3,000 up, you know, several thousand, $10,000, $15,000, depending on what you're looking for. But you can accomplish the same goals and same job pretty much doing you know, with a much smaller setup. So I just wanted to go over what I have, and I pretty much do only residentials right now because I am a new business, and as I grow, I will pick up, you know, more high dollar stuff and you know, better equipment, and you know, grow like any business. But you can get in, you know, your foot in the door and start making some money without having to spend, you know, 10 grand, 15 grand. And so again, I just wanted to go over what I have, and maybe it'll help somebody else. All right, so this is what I got. We'll start out over here on the high pressure side, and I had done a video before, but I wanted to just redo the video and make it a little bit more, you know, about this and not other things. So anyway, we'll start again on the high pressure side here. I went with the DeWalt 4400 PSI for I believe it's 4 or 4.4 gallon per minute. I want to say 4 gallon per minute pressure washer, and it's a nice pressure washer. It seems to work really well. I'm really happy with it. I know I do need to get maybe a belt drive later down the road rather than the direct drive, but right now everything seems to be working just fine, and I'm getting, you know, I'm getting the job done with it. So I'll go over it. I got my little pressure washer here, 4400 psi. That cost me about, you know, about $1,000, maybe $1,064 out the door there from Lowe's. I went ahead and set up a my little drop stick right there, and which I can just plug into my injector valve right there, and you know, siphon soap or whatever. That's usually hooked in. I was just cleaning out the lines and everything. So I got the little drop stick hooked up, so I can drop it into either my bleach tanks back here, and I have several of the 35s, 2 of the 35s, 2 20s, a 15, and, you know, 5 of the, oh, excuse me, 3 of the 5s that I can either switch between. So right now, you may have seen some of my other videos on my other channel. I had the larger bleach tanks and stuff set up in here, and I've switched it out just to you know, depending on the job I'm doing or what I have planned, you know, I'll switch out my smaller tanks, how much bleach I need to hold. So I've got my smaller bleach tanks in here right now, and I can just take my drop stick from my pressure washer if I need to and drop it into any tank, draw soap, you know, SH or anything I need to do. I also picked up the whip line that ran about 40 bucks. Going to the reel. The reel I picked up for, I think it was like $189, and I think it's a 150 or 200 foot reel, maybe it was probably 150 foot reel, I think it was. And I've got 150 foot of hose on there right now. I picked up the Armor Guard, I believe it's called Armor Guard. It's a really nice gray flexible hose you can see down in there, and then this is the black hose that came with the DeWalt, and it's also very flexible and really nice to use, so it works really well. I went ahead and got just a small ball valve that I put together from one of the hardware stores here, and that'll work for now until I pick up a, you know, nice stainless steel one. And all told, my my whole pressure washing setup right there, probably maybe 1,200 bucks tops, you know, counting the because that was about 1065, you know, 1065. This was 180, 170, somewhere around there, and then about 60 bucks in hose, you know. So we're looking about 1,200, maybe 1,250. For everything in the pressure washing side, and I still need to pick up the surface cleaner. and I'll be getting that in the next few days here. I'm still not I'm still undecided on which one I want to go with, so I just need to look into that a little bit, you know, further before I grab one. On my soft wash side over here, it's real simple. Again, I got the tanks, and I picked up all of my tanks off Craigslist for 20 bucks. I got 2 35s, 2 20s, and 3 5s, and a 15-gallon blue bleach tank, all for 20 bucks. So that was 8 tanks for 20 bucks. So you know, just check if you're looking for tanks or something, or small water holding bins. Just you know, you can go on Craigslist there and find them relatively cheap usually. The soft wash side over here, I went with the Delavan, and it's the 5 gallon per minute, 60 psi, and I have it now mounted down to a platform that I have both of my reels on right here. And it just keeps everything out the way. I'm able to put some tools underneath the platform, pieces and parts, and having the pump right here in the back of the platform right here, I'm able to get to everything real quickly. There's very little hose going from my draw line to my pump reel, so there's maybe like 2 feet of hose on my outtake side right there, and then just a couple inches of hose before it goes into my drop stick and my gravity fed hose right there, my gravity fed line. So there's really, the pump is almost drawn, you know, there's no hose really for it to go through hardly. I picked up this reel right here. I just traded a pressure washer that I had for it. Actually a pressure washer that I had found on the side of the road for free, and after the hurricane it must have flooded on somebody, and I saw it, it looked brand new, brought it home, and it literally cranked right up on me. So it was just seized up a little bit, maybe the guy couldn't pull it, and I pulled it and it cranked right up. So got a new pressure washer, and it was only like a 2300 psi. So I traded the guy, a friend of mine, this hose reel that he had for it. No, it doesn't have the hand crank or anything like that, but it's got the lock, and it's easy enough just to roll your hose like this, honestly. Especially with the space constraints I have, it's really just the same to either just push that to roll it up or to hand crank it. And actually, with my arm being messed up the way it is, I ripped my shoulder out a couple years ago, completely ripped my shoulder out, and now I got a ripped out elbow, you know, muscle. So anyway, I'm dealing with all that. So it just makes it that's pretty simple for me. So the hose reel was free, and then I picked up a 50-foot of flexzilla right now, half-inch flexzilla, and I got the half-inch zero guard, which eventually I'll go to all flexzilla and get another 100 feet of that. As far as the plumbing on the soft wash pump right here, I've now changed it to where I have the gravity fed line going straight into it right here, and I can shut the water on or off right here, and my drop stick right here that I can regulate and cut off by a simple Y valve. And you know, I just created a quick drop stick that I can drop into any of my bins, or a larger SH bin if I want to put it there, and you know, soap or whatever I need, I can draw from anything. And I actually have another drop stick in the truck bin right there that I could hook up if I needed to, and you know, draw even something else. You know, if I didn't want to gravity feed from this, I could draw from 2 different bins that way, and just switch it out right there real fast. But so I hooked all that up. I went ahead and hooked up the bulkhead so I could do the gravity feed. Yesterday I went ahead and hooked this up right here. I was just letting the water dump right into the tank by just unscrewing it and letting the water dump in, but I went ahead and hooked up a little on-off thing right here, so if I'm at the truck near the water hose, you know, I can you know, stop the flow coming in right here, which I will get a one of the Hudson valves soon here. I just haven't got it yet. And my little swivel here. And even when I get the Hudson valve, I'll still keep this up here because this allows me to sort of swivel this, fill my tank from either side. You know, if the hose is on this side, I can just sort of swivel it, get it from anywhere I need to. And, you know, I don't have to have any special setup. So anyway, but that's my my low pressure side right there, and I went ahead and got my J-rod and all that stuff in my truck bed right here, See, I got the battery mounted in the truck bed with the charger here, my on-off switch right here, and the pump is actually on right now, and it hasn't come on, so obviously it's not leaking anything. I was just messing with the hoses and spraying. Yeah, see there. So, yeah, it's working just fine. I'm getting good flow out of it. And again, this is just a 60 psi Delavan, 5 gallon per minute, and you know, you get really good flow. I can get a good 40-foot shot up into the tree. Yeah, that's a good 40 foot up into the tree. And ooh, it's coming back on me. The wind's blowing this way. It's I guess a pretty decent pump. It's going to work for what I do, because like I said, I'm just doing residentials, maximum 2-story residentials, you know, driveways and things like that. So I'm not doing any large commercial buildings. So as far as what I'm doing, this little setup right here, once I get the surface cleaner, should be plenty sufficient to get the job done. So again, anybody you know, wanting to get into a pressure washing and soft wash, I was working for a larger company in the area. They had, you know, the 8 gallon per minute, large trailer, everything set up. Have some of the bigger contracts in the area, you know, serving some of the large golf course common areas and stuff like that, and sidewalks in the golf courses and stuff. So they have some huge contracts. They're a big company, and I saw their setup, and eventually I'll have something sort of, you know, along those lines. But I was able to you know, understand enough of how everything was set up to realize that you can do the same job with a little bit smaller setup, a little bit less cost, and still get the job done and get by until you can grow. So anybody looking to get into pressure washing and soft wash, you know, a tiny setup like this, you know, a little, you know, regular hardware store pressure washer, you know, decent hardware store pressure washer, a few tanks, you know, a little bit of plumbing hardware, a couple hose reels and some hoses, and you know, and once I get the surface cleaner, of course, a surface cleaner, and you can get out there and make yourself some good money. All right, so good luck to everybody out there. Take care. Be safe. Bye.